Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. All right, let's talk Olympics. As you all know, or any of you that watched our podcast, you know I love the Olympics. I have literally been watching it nonstop since the opening ceremony. I can't get enough. I'm glad that it lasts 2 weeks because it's the only thing that I'll watch. So let's start off with the opening ceremony. Now look, I love the Olympics. I can't get enough footage of the Olympics. It was too long. France, too long. I liked the originality. Normally, opening ceremonies happen in the stadiums. I mean, if you all remember Beijing, which was incredible, London with the whole James Bond and the Mr. Bean thing. Paris decided they were going to use the entire city. Cool concept. The only thing is, a lot of it was pre-recorded, I think, which sort of lost the element, and the players were escorted down the river, which I thought was cool. But then I feel like part of the magic for the Olympians is that they get to watch the opening ceremony simultaneously, but they didn't in this case because it was happening in so many different places. Look, I also know there are a lot of countries. There are 206 countries competing in the Olympics, so I get it. There's a lot of countries to get through. They're all going on their little boats. Like, it is a long process. I get it. It's still too long. It took 5 hours until we got to Celine, who was the best part, by the way, but we'll get to that in a second. And I know the athletes have to have their moment. I'm actually fine with the athletes part. Boom, 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 boom. Get them in, get them out. And we don't even have Russia anymore, by the way. So we at least have that country not in it. Another part that I was confused about is most of the time the opening ceremony is supposed to be the best of the country and about that country, and it felt very much like a world opening ceremony. While it was set in Paris and had the iconic Paris backgrounds, then you had like Lady Gaga and Celine Dion and this whole like celebrity red carpet element at the beginning, which I'm not mad at. It felt like a very different Olympics than we had seen before. Maybe this is sort of where the Olympics are heading. I know that they were sort of losing viewership in the last few Olympics, and I think they're trying to cash in on celebrity to get more eyes on it. And I do think it's working. You're seeing more celebrities at the event. I mean, for the women's qualifying gymnastics for Simone, I mean, you had Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Lady Gaga, Tom Cruise. I mean, like, A-list celebrities there, which I don't think normally is the case. Again, I also think Paris, because it's such an iconic city, celebrities are more likely to go there. I don't know how many celebrities were wanting to go to like Sochi, Russia, or Beijing, or, you know, like, it's just not as easy of a trip. This is just right over the ocean, so maybe that has something to do with it. The red carpet, I mean, look, there were some good looks. It was fun. And that's that. We'll move on. Let's talk about the performers. So you have Lady Gaga, who I thought she did a cute job. I personally thought it was a little bit underwhelming of a performance. It felt very French. And her French, as much as I know of French, but I have several friends that are fluent in French, she was fine. It felt very French for someone who's not French. The placement of the performance also just felt weird. I knew it was along the river, so the athletes were able to see, but only the athletes that were passing at that time were able to see. And then, like, my thing is with all of these, who was it? I guess it was more catered to the television audience than the live audience, because for the live audience, I feel like you had to just be like, pick a spot and you were only going to see whatever performance was happening right there. but then you weren't seeing any of the other stuff, which is kind of disappointing. The can dancers were completely off. Literally not in sync at all. Don't know what that was about. Then there was this French pop star in all gold. She looked amazing, sounded great, was very cool, and she's French. So I was like, oh, okay, great. There was this French pianist who I thought was good. And then Celine, which I will give Celine a pass because you all know she's my favorite, so I'll give her a pass on anything. But she's a native French speaker, so at least she has that element. It was so emotional. If any of you have seen her documentary, let me know in the comments, because it was heartbreaking, so good. And to see that documentary and then to see her at the Olympics singing and performing like that, wild, emotional. Kelly Clarkson, who was like weeping off camera, just literally weeping, was every gay man on the internet. She looked incredible. She sounded amazing. I don't believe anyone that said it was pre-recorded. Even if it was, I don't give a shit, but I don't believe that it was. I think she was singing live. And I think she sounded amazing. She looked amazing. And she was singing on top of the Eiffel Tower for, I don't even know how many people were watching. 1 billion? Literally, I don't even know. Unreal. Good for her. Celine, I know you're watching. And if you are, kudos to you, mama. We also need to talk about this now super sensationalized and sort of blown out of proportion drag number where conservatives are mad that they were replicating The Last Supper and they were upset that there were drag queens on TV and yada, yada, yada. It truly blows my mind that they think we get offended so easily, and then something so whatever like this, they're so upset about. It was artists performing. And who cares if they were doing The Last Supper? There are literally spoofs of The Last Supper with like cartoon characters and dogs that they don't get mad at. They only get mad because it's queer people. It's just so stupid. The performance was cool. I mean, it wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen, but it was cool, and it was cool to see drag performers and drag sort of presented on such a world stage like that. It's also just like such a French thing, and that's the thing, is like all these conservatives and MAGA people and Trumpies and all of that are blowing up the US media complaining about it. It was a French production. There are other cultures and there are countries who aren't such freaks and fanatics like us about such stupid shit. Like, who cares? Just have fun. Just have fun. Just be gay and have fun. There was also, again, so French. I will say, look, it wasn't my favorite opening ceremony. I did find myself a little bored. There were these pockets of moments that I was like, okay, great. And obviously Celine. But it was so French. There was another moment with this like menage a trois of them like running. Again, it was pre-recorded, so I didn't love that. It also, I guess the section was about France being so sexually open, and it sort of tied into sort of the fashion of France as well, I guess. It was fun. It was playful. It was a threesome, so what's not to love? We have to talk about the outfits of the athletes coming in on the boats. Now, the sort of tried and true, and most of the outfits are like a blazer and a pant. That is so many countries. I don't know when that started. I don't know who decided that. I guess it makes them look the most sort of professional, but like, I don't know. Look at, like, have a little fun. So I'm only going to talk about the ones that I thought were fun and weren't just so stereotypical. I know some people were bored with America and are bored with Ralph Lauren. I get where they're coming from. I'm a little bored with Ralph Lauren, but I actually kind of liked this look with the jeans and the blazer and everything. It did feel very American. But with that being said, I am sort of like, okay, and we did it, and it's great. Give me something else. Like Violet Chachi's. I need something else. Do something else. Let's do something different. Something cool. And not a blazer and pants. I'm bored. It like pissed down rain during the open ceremony. So half the countries were just in like cheap chintzy ponchos, so you couldn't even see the outfits. Look, again, not my favorite open ceremony. What are we going to say at this point? Beating a dead horse. All right, the Mongolian uniforms. Very cool. Felt very modern while also being a nod to their culture. It was just very cool. Not a typical blazer and pants. It just like felt, and not even costumey either. It felt like modern fashion with a cultural twist. Loved it. Brazil looked like they were going to brunch. Like Brazil is sort of sometimes known for just being so over the top and everything, and they literally look like they're going to brunch. Liberia, who was dressed by Telfar, loved. Unexpected, cool, not the norm, not in a blazer like everyone else. It was just cool. Is that too much to ask? Lastly, about these opening ceremonies, will we ever get an explanation? Who? What? Where? When? What? Was it Celine the whole time? Like, I don't think we ever quite got an explanation. I don't know who they are in reference to France. Maybe I need to know more about France. Is it an iconic figure there? I don't think so. And then it ends with the torch being a hot air balloon. I'll give them creativity points. We haven't seen it before. I do like a fun, crafty torch in the end. I think we've seen better ones. We've seen worse. Remember, which Olympics was it that it didn't work? I think it was Canada. Kudos to them for trying something new. It was not my personal favorite. I know some people loved it. All right, before we leave, because this is a very long video, I'm sorry, but I can just talk about the Olympics. The sports that I'm really looking forward to: women's gymnastics, swimming, track and field, beach volleyball, regular volleyball, badminton, ping pong. Oh my God, there's too many. I can't name them all. Simone Biles hurt herself in the qualifying, which makes me a little nervous, but she powered through because she's what? A professional, and still like blew away the competition. Men's gymnastics, flop city. Beach volleyball being under the Eiffel Tower. How cool and iconic is that? Like, that's pretty awesome. Sha'Carri Richardson for track and field. This is her moment. I feel like she's having her moment and she deserves it. I've also grown to love Alona Mar, who's this like TikTok Instagram star for the women's rugby team now. If you don't follow her, you should. She is hysterical. I love all of her videos. And I just saw her today and she's like actually good at rugby, which I know is redundant saying because she's at the Olympics, but I mean like she was scoring points for them. So she's not just like some side person who barely gets in and plays and is this social media star. She's like actually social media star and a rugby star. So kudos to Alona. I also just love watching all the sports that, you know, not everyone is really watching, like archery or ping pong. I can't even see the ball or the shuttlecock in badminton sometimes. They're going so fast. But as you all know, if you watched my vlog, I love badminton, and 2028, baby, not giving up. All right, we got to wrap up this video because I've been talking for 23 minutes, and if any of you have made it this long, kudos to you. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you liked this. It was kind of sort of an off-the-cuff, just talking to you all, almost like a podcast. If you want more videos like this, they're very easy to make, so I can do them. And if you're like, Nick, please stop doing this and do something else, also let me know in the comments. You know I love negative comments. So tell me either way. Maybe I'll make some more Olympic content. Let me know. I love the Olympics. Do you guys? I don't know. You have to tell me. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share the video. And until next time.